Hi, and welcome to the Feng Shui predictions for 2021. My name is Zimon August, and I'm a certified Feng Shui expert, and I also work with dowsing, otherwise, I call it earth healing. So, what have we got to expect for 2021? Let's talk about 2020 just for a second, because if you looked into 2020 from a feng shui perspective or numerological perspective or astrological perspective, it all showed that 2020 was going to be a crappy year, to be honest. But luckily, 2021 is when our good luck, our good karma, our abundance returns in very unexpected ways. But 2020, we had the theft, loss, and violence star that created separation, that had things being taken away from us, not in a voluntary way. And it had the cash flow going up and down. And I went to Rome last year, and I almost got dropped. I could feel something coming from behind, and then I turned around, and he was like, "Oh, no, 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 no," and he was trying to go into my backpack. But that was 2020. But luckily in 2021 we get a different energy, completely different. So 2021 we have the abundance star number 6 in Feng Shui in the center, and it's called like heavenly gold coming for you, like heavenly luck. And it's some things that you haven't really worked on, something you didn't expect, something that just turned out of nowhere. So I can't say exactly what's going to happen in 2021. That's the good thing, is that you can see the energy, but you can't see exactly how it's going to turn out. But it's quite interesting to see what's going to happen in 2021. It's a very fortunate number. It's also about getting support from friends and a mentor, and from the heavens, of course, and also go traveling. So there's some good things about it, and also that you are being recognized as an expert inside your field. So if you are doing, I don't know, you are an expert in ice cream or some sort of things, you'll be recognized as an expert, or you'll be the lucky person that people want to be around. So that's quite interesting. So according to Feng Shui, here we have the energies here, number 6 in the center for this year, 2021. And it changes here the 12th of February 2021. And especially from March, you'll start to see these unexpected good things start to happen. So how can you activate this energy? How can you get the most of this unexpected windfall, unexpected gold from heaven? Of course, when it's gold from heaven, you activate it with something that either are gold or looks like gold. So it could be the I Ching coins, who represents a balance between heaven and earth. So you have the heaven out here, and you have the earth inside here, the square. So you can place that in the center of your home this year. Or you can have Ganesh, like every golden master you can think of is good. And he's also known for wisdom and support and moving blockages and abundance. And you can go like I did. I bought the world's smallest gold, like 1 grams of pure gold here. I don't know if you can see it here. This is certified in Switzerland. 1 gram of gold. So I bought that, put it inside the center of my home this year. If you want other kind of feng shui symbols, you could have the ship, the wealth ship. I wish I had the money to buy this. It would be excellent to have real gold in this size. I think it's like, I don't know, in $100,000 or something. I don't know how much it is. Quite expensive. So let's look into the different things that our higher self wants us to know. So I have these angelic messenger cards, and I'll just gonna take a look at what shows up. They're quite in-depth cards here, and it's like 3 or 4 pages of things that you can do in your life, and they're quite precise. So let's see what's the highest and best good for everyone. What do we need to know for 2021? And let's see what shows up. So if you have an intention, a question, just hold that in mind, and let's see what shows up. I think, okay, 3 cards shows up. One is divine guidance. That's one of them. Freedom is also very important. Actually turned 32 hit this year. So, and the blessing here, number 6, quite interesting. The number 6 shows up here. So let's see what this guidance is about. I'm not going to go and read it all, but just some of it. So let's take the first one, divine guidance. It's divine guidance is a card that is like besides the normal cards. So it says here, opening your heart to love through direct experience with God and the angelic kingdom. You have drawn this God realization card because something significant and profoundly meaningful will further awaken you to the reality of the divine in your life. Expect that you over the next several days you will be directly guided by the universe. If you pay attention, you will have a significant realization of the heavenly kingdoms. You may perceive God's closeness in your life through an especially meaningful poem, a reading, or a vision. You may encounter the energy or spirit of a loved one who has died and wishes to share something with you. You may have an actual glimpse or perception of your angels, guides, or master teachers in a way that furthers your belief in the non-physical world and in your own everlasting connection. So this is a spiritual opening happening here. And that makes sense because number 6 is about spiritual connection. Let's see here what it says more. So the guidance that comes through this extraordinary flower image is symbolically to release your fears because all is held in eternal love. And the number 7 we had in 2020 was about mixture between fear and anger. So in the beginning it was mainly fear, and now it's mainly anger. And it's going to be cleared out in the course of the year, and this more positive come through. So all is held in eternal love. There is nothing to be afraid of. The golden center of the flower is symbolically your natural ability to heal and expand in love. The illuminating white petals radiate out, speaking to you of many lifetimes that you lived and you'll continue to live. You are guided to take a moment and reflect on the great expanse of opportunities that you hold because of your divine connection. You are capable of experiencing God's love as never before. You are guided to merely accept love into your life and to realize that compassion that moves with you through every life experience and challenge. You are asked to accept that you are blessed. So that's the first one. So let's see the freedom one that showed up. Next one here. So we had a lot of restrictions in 2020. That's like the number 7 took liberties and freedom from us, and the number 32 here is much more about freedom. Also in numerology we have the number 5, which is about connection, talking to each other, and socializing, and money. And we're going to talk about money and the financial systems in a bit. But let's see about number 32, which also creates in numerology the number 5. So here says, turning your impatience into spiritual energy for self-discovery through nature. You have drawn this card as a means of finding a more satisfying inner freedom from anxiety and feelings of being pushed by life with never enough time, energy, money, or experience to find or create what you feel you need or are ready for. You may feel impatient with other people or with your own spiritual progress. You may feel impatient with your work, lack of work, or inability to find or create meaningful work. You may feel impatient to heal. This card has the energy of investigation and urges you to discover the freedom exhibited by nature as each living thing goes about its own activities. So it says like here, one of the greatest delusions in Earth School is that there's a limit on time, but you have more than enough time. So this guidance that comes through this image is that self-realization lies in experiencing fully each singular aspect of a living. So it symbolically asks you to hold your intention on the experiences of this moment. You need to experience the freedom of this moment in time. In order to discover joy in the moment and to experience the freedom to take the time you need for the people and the individual experiences in your life, pay attention to occasions when the opposite is true and you feel impatient. Why do you feel impatient with other people when that person repeats himself or fails to make the point that you think is important? Where is your awareness and your attention level when you look at your watch and realize you have 5 minutes to get to the store before it closes? How do you feel when it rains or snows and you have to shovel or put on extra warm or protective clothing? Impatience becomes a way of life that you may hardly recognize as your motivation for gulping down life without savoring any of it. This is the feeling of always being pushed, out of breath, and reaching for what comes next. How do you relinquish impatience? By keeping your focus on your inner mind, which tells you that all life is moving at its most perfect pace, and that you are required to sense this pace and move in harmony with it. When you seek this pace, you relax into freedom, and you find that you can enjoy each experience of your life and savor its gift fully. So our mind is really pushing us all the time out of this present moment, and this card tells us to go inside and be present in this very moment, because everything is present here, and joy is present here, and freedom is present here. You don't have to wait until sometime in the future in order to get it. But if you do that, then we come with the last card here, the blessing. The number 6, quite interesting that the number 6 is that card we are having here. So seeing the blessings in your life. Reflection cards all lead you to more deeply inside yourself, so that you can rediscover your own spirit and the means of living in an awakened relationship with God, the Source. This card brings you the message that the blessings of your life can sustain you even when you or someone that you love are in great pain or distress. By focusing on the blessings that your spirit has brought to you or to another, you are better able to learn from the difficulties in your life rather than seeking only to survive them. This card offers renewal and increased self-appreciation because it asks you to lift your eyes from the mundane and fearful towards the evolved and enlightened. So have a thankful heart is what it says here. And count your blessings more or less. So this image is showing you the nature of your life as it moves from the powerful purity of divine awareness into the magical passion and intensity of the Earth School life. You are being asked to see forthcoming success as the natural extension of continued attention to your relationship with the Divine Source. You are being blessed with additional clarity and understanding of the past circumstances that have hindered your growth, and you can expect to move forward with plans to expand and grow. So we're going to get some clarity on why we had to be pulled back in 2020 and move forward here in 2021. So we're going to move forward. Although the blessings of insight, inspiration, and integrity are coming more fully into your life work and your relationships, you are being cautioned that as your future blossoms, you should continue to honor the small daily blessings in your life. Pay attention to the people, the plants, the animals, the trees, and the natural systems that support your life. Pay attention to the seemingly unimportant people who support your success. The challenge is to realize that no matter how brilliant your future, how bright a star in your heavens you become, which is number 6, the star is at the heavens, you are there by the grace of divine love. Your success is meant to help humanity and the earth, and so your deepest intentions are being honored. Use the blessings in your own life to help others renew their belief in their own blessings from the universe. So your blessings is not only for you, but for the entire humanity. And let go of the control is also a keyword from the last year, and forgiveness is going to be a keyword for this year, because a lot of people went into fear, went into the collective mind of being separated, and this year we are going to be more connected. The boundaries between us are being opened up again, but we had to go within to learn what we truly are in our essence before we could go out again. So there's always a blessing in disguise, even though sometimes we can't really see it. So 2020 was something that we had to go through, but also something that if you hate it and push it away, the blessings from it, you take longer time to transform it. So be thankful for the gift that's sometimes wrapped in sandpaper, and then bless it, say thank you, I love you, and then move on. So if we look at the Feng Shui, I have some different aspects that's quite important. So the people that are number 1 in Feng Shui, in the Kua number, person energy numbers, are going to have the most transformational year in 2021. So the number 5 is something about transformation, but also called the disaster star. And Southeast is also the area of financial systems, economic systems, so stock markets and commodities and businesses and money, and also forgiveness. So last year we had the number 5 on the eastern part of the world. So that was China. You had the virus coming from China and spreading out through the world. And also they were sort of like the place where the negative karma of the world was being released. And this year it's gonna be southeast part of the world. So that means Australia and New Zealand, who has been sort of spared by this virus, but something has to be released down there this year. So look to see what happens in Australia and New Zealand. The number 5 that was on East was also about governments, and also Donald Trump had it, the most transformational year for him. So what it was about is like we had to look at the past and the future of how we're going to be governed. We have to look at the past and the future, also about the family and also about music. So those areas were some of the areas that were quite affected last year. And this year is more about the financial systems, and also because number 5 is in the numerology, it's in for the year. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We've already seen some of the aspects from this energy. We've seen some small investors going against the hedge funds, the big investors, the Wall Street. and actually through the GameStop have finally the small Robin Hood person has finally had a victory against big tech and big what do you call it, Wall Street. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, because they're trying to go into silver now and get the banks and the whole financial systems to change. And that's what the energy says here in 2021, according to Feng Shui. So let's see what happens. We might see a new currency, stock markets going crazy. I've bought gold and silver. I've had some cash. I have stocks, but I've just have different things. So just to be sure, because you never know what's going to happen when the transformational star comes in, the disaster star comes in on that area, and you never know what's going to happen. And you've seen last year that a lot of money being pushed into the economy, and that could create inflation, and also a lot of businesses probably go bankrupt this year because they don't get support and no clients and whatever. Interesting to see. But if we look into the Feng Shui, we also have in Chinese astrology the white metal bull for this year, going from the rat year, the metal rat, to the metal bull. And the rat always comes with the epidemics, and that's what happened last year. And this year is about the bull, and the bull is quite stubborn, but also quite hardworking. But it's not like overnight. It's like you have to work to get this money, even though you have these sudden surprises of luck from heaven. So I don't know, you want to call it source or God or angels come in and helping us. And a lot of the lies, the deceptions that was present last year is being uncovered this year, and even more in 2022. So let's see what happens. Interesting year for sure. So if you have any questions, anything you want to be answered, just text me below this video. And also, if you want to learn what is your personal best directions in Feng Shui, you can sign up for the newsletter. There's a link below the video here. And let's see what happens. I have one last thing before I end this long video. People make videos like an hour long. I don't have the patience to see them. So every time I go past 10 minutes, I always I hope people can have the patience to see it. But that's what we learned last year. We learned patience, and that was the card we also drew. So Archangel Michael is also quite important this year. The number 6 also about angels. So he's could be like golden master or angel you put in the center of your home this year. So let's see what's in the highest and best good for everyone of us to hear from Archangel Michael. So if you have any intentions or questions, just put them out there, just saying it out loud or thinking about it. Yep. So that might be good, because some of you might not be in relationships, and this says romance angels are helping you. And the number 6 is about you have a friend who invites you to go on a holiday or to go somewhere abroad or somewhere else in your country, and you have to say yes to that because you're gonna meet your romantic partner if you do it. So you have to go traveling this year if you want to meet your love of your life. So this card validates that your prayers concerning your love life have been heard and answered. There's a special group of ethereal beings called the Romance Angels who specifically work with matters of the heart. These angels are giving you intuitive guidance to prepare you for great love. To manifest a soulmate romance, you must express the qualities you desire in a partner. So the Romance Angels may ask you to make healthful lifestyle changes, focus on self-improvement, learn additional interesting hobbies, or make new friends. The more you listen to your intuition, the faster your prayers for loving relationships will be answered. Possible meanings. The person you're asking about is your soulmate. You will experience a happy change in your present relationship. You are learning to love yourself. You will soon meet someone special by following your guidance. Listen to your intuition concerning exercise, diet, and other aspects of self-improvement. And there's a small prayer below here. Dear guardian angels of my soulmate, thank you for preparing my soulmate and me for love, for giving us the motivation to make helpful life changes, and for arranging for us to meet. Thank you for helping us recognize each other and have the courage to say hello so that we can eventually delve into a truly intimate relationship. So, relationships are always interesting because they bring up everything that triggers us, everything that irritates us, and it could be a great point of development and evolution. So you have to be ready for it. It's not something that you can control everything. You have to set them free. You have to love them exactly as they are, and you also have to be ready. So you have to prepare yourself. And prepare yourself by listening to intuition, as it says, and making the changes that are necessary. And also, you can't find the love of your life if you're sitting in a cave inside all the time. You have to go out into life and let your feet guide you exactly to where you need to be. It could be something completely strange, or you don't know exactly why you're doing these things, and then it shows out in the end there was something that was guiding you and it was supposed to happen. So it could be that you started doing a new hobby, a new sport, or you had a new friend you meet and it turns out to be extremely lucky. So quite interesting year. And some of the predictions I made last year is that coronavirus was something that was coming quickly and also disappearing quickly, and it did. But you can't really see it from the statistics because there's something called, like, you have diagnoses that come into fashion, and if we've seen it with blood poisons, where people get, I've had that experience as well, where people they were constantly being reminded that some people in the doctors in the hospital and doctors outside in the system were getting like be aware of these signs. And when you get something that you have to be aware of, you constantly see it. So if you, for example, have to say, you don't have to think about a pink elephant. Don't think about a pink elephant. Don't think about a pink elephant. And what you see constantly in your mind is a pink elephant. So that's what happens when you put your focus on it. But luckily, it's done. It's over. We are through it. It's just become something that we live with, like the flu or whatever. But a lot of people have either gotten a sense of control and a fear and shame and anger, and all these emotions had to be cleared out in a way. And the best way was apparently that everyone saw how obvious that freedom and our rights as a human being are so important, that no disaster, no war, no epidemic, no nothing is legitimate enough to take it away from us. People are responsible enough, if you give them the responsibility, to take precautions themselves. We've seen that lockdowns, finally after a year, they said it doesn't work, it doesn't control the virus, it's nature, you can't control nature. And viruses are not something to be afraid of. They are part of our ecosystem. They're in animals, they're in nature, they're in our body. Bacteria, we couldn't live without them. So it's quite important that we don't separate ourselves from nature, but see that we are part of nature and we can't fight with it. We have to work under their conditions. So nature demands of us that we live in harmony, that we don't take too much and don't give too much, that we create a balance between those two. And also, like, I've seen a documentary about Kiss the Ground on Netflix. I can really recommend it because it gives an easy solution to how to solve the problems of both feeding the world and environmental issues. So important. And we had so much plastic pollution happening last year. I mean, we can't continue on creating more and more pollution. We have to find new solutions. And they might be unexpected because of number 6 this year. And a lot of new solutions are going to come out that actually works and actually based on the true science and not what is being paid for by big pharma and whatever. You have this media business that quite dominated by like 6 conglomerates in the United States and around the world. And then you have the news agencies, Reuters and AP and whatever, and they're like controlling all the media you see, the news you see, and that also has to change. And also social media has to change this year, and you're going to see a lot of changes happening towards social media. You've seen that censorship and doctors being censored. You've seen a lot of things that was not appreciated by Google, Facebook, whatever, being censored, even though a year later we found out that it could have saved hundreds of thousands of lives if that knowledge had been available and not being controlled by WHO and whatever you have there. The mask, completely nonsense. It doesn't work. I'm working in healthcare. I'm a trained physiotherapist, and I can tell you that we never used masks for viruses. It doesn't work for viruses. So complete nonsense. Complete bullshit. And then you have the vaccines, which are essentially gene therapy developed for cancer and doesn't work at all. All these crazy things that was just being pushed upon us, and the vaccine passports. Like, have you gone crazy? My granddad transported Jews from Denmark to Sweden during the Second World War, and he didn't do that because they had these, like, the fight he went through, he got a medal for it, was in danger. He didn't do it because we were supposed to get a vaccine passport in 2021 or 2022. We don't want to be discriminated. We want to be free to do whatever we want under our own responsibility. And this is a year about freedom. This is a year where we can say what we want and mean. We don't want to be afraid of being censored and being stripped of our social media, of other people doing cancel culture, woke mentality. This is too late. It's gone overboard. Like, you don't have like you either go too much for the discrimination or too much against it. You have to find a balance. Super important. And you can't put the blame on other persons for your feelings. It's your feelings, it's your responsibility, it's your body, your responsibility. You can't exercise on behalf of another person. You can't eat healthy on behalf of another person. You have to take your own responsibility. So I hope it woke up a lot of people. It was the Great Awakening this year. Quite interesting to see what happens in 2021. Lots of love from here. My name is Zimon August, and I wish you a completely wonderful, blessed 2021. And if you want to follow me, hit the like button, either on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you find me, because I might not forever be on Facebook or YouTube, but luckily I've been going to Odyssey, so every video I have on Facebook are being transferred to Odyssey, and every thing I'm doing is automatically being also published on different platforms. So there's MeWe and there's different things where there's no censorship. All my love. Have a wonderful year.